Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're looking at the final Grand Prix deck that I was going to look at for this set of videos, and this is Blood. So I've taken the Shadowverse Blood list from the lists, obviously, in the Blood section. I could have chose almost any of them. I chose the Shadowverse because I actually enjoy bats quite a bit, and I really like decks that can run Vampiric Fortress. They always pique my interest just a little bit because they're a lot of fun. So we're going to get right into it and take a look. So this deck is your pretty standard aggro deck when it comes to Blood. I mean, it's not using the Vengeance aggro package, which a lot of people will automatically say, oh, it's a Vengeance Blood, even though it can be both a Vengeance and aggro deck, without really realizing it, but that's fine. Either way, Precious Bloodfang, pretty decent card. Of course, this first game here, I do make an error with it. I completely misread the card, or at least I mainly just misplay the card, playing it on one like an idiot, but hey, what's learning? It didn't do anything anyway, so it's basically just milling a useless card at this point in the game, considering we don't have anything to use it on yet. Of course, Bahamut is actually a pretty decent play, going for that 2-1, drawing out whatever we can get, especially setting something up when we can go with the Urius and the Ambling Wraith. Getting both of those, fairly decent. A little bit better than Savage Wolf, I feel, because we still get 1 damage, so we're getting half the damage with 2 followers and way more stats total. And we get 2 damage to the face, which is really good. Plus, any follower they do play is automatically going to hit them for 1. Fortunately, Starling Chains is an instant removal on this 2-2, which is great considering it does negate 1 damage. So, the extra damage that we get off it is just enough. And we get that good amount of face. Of course, if they play a follower now, Precious Blood King and Night Horde actually combo pretty well together. And they are going to get rid of 2 things, which I kind of expected. Priest of the Cudgel, that's what it does. Removing 2 cards is extremely common when it's played like that. And they went for the least damage they could take possible, which doesn't too much surprise me. So we can go for the Night Horde. I could have saved it for the Vania, didn't really feel like that was the way to go. But being able to at least set up a pretty nice triple bat is actually okay. Especially if even one of these bats survive, it means I can ram at least 3 damage this turn alone without any issue, and since even more survived, we're actually looking pretty decent. And next turn, we can actually go for the old Blood King and Vania combo, which will give us just that little bit extra damage overall. Allowing us to pull off a pretty comfortable 3 damage with those 2 cards alone. If we can pull anything else, we'll actually have lethal, so if we pull basically any other good card, Savage Wolf for example, is lethal. If we had got any of our bat summoners that we had, really could have been used as well. I mean, if we had have got Summon Bloodkin or anything like that, we could have also won, but Savage Wolf it is. So it just occurred to me after looking at which games I've actually got for this video, all the games are Haven, so that doesn't surprise me at all. So really this is just showing off how good Blood is against Haven, which honestly should be pretty obvious, but I mean, you're playing the same style no matter what deck you're playing against. You're always looking for the exact same outs with this deck, being able to just be aggressive against your opponent as much as possible, whatever they're playing is kind of irrelevant, so it's not too bad at all, but it is surprising that the 3 games that I actually have for this video are all Haven. So we get the Urius out on curve, which is pretty decent. Not the best thing to do against Haven, but respectable.
Crystals of snow shimmer in the night.
So there is an automatic 1 damage. Urius is already gaining me value. And unfortunately no other drop to go with that one, so going for a random blood follower. I was initially just aiming for an Ambling Wraith, but I'll take another Bahamut where I can get one, even if it just thins my deck out. So this is an Elena Haven, unlike the last Haven deck, which seemed to be, I'm not really sure because we didn't get far into it, but it didn't seem to be an Elena Haven at least. So we do get that 1 ping to the face, and they are going for a reasonable bit of damage on that Urius. And Vania actually going to do something. I mean, we don't get the evolve on Vania, but we don't actually need it. Do make a pretty decent play with this. Urius does get the extra ping off because of the summon of a bat. So we actually get extra damage off that, which is great before we end up just swinging face for an extra 1. So it's only turn 4 and we've already dealt 9 damage to our opponent. Make that 10. Even better. Of course, Unica is a little bit of a nightmare, and this is going to be hard with their healing. but not impossible, just difficult.
You think you beat me.
So they've got a 3-2 and a 2-2. Of course they're going to kill that Urius because that would have been a really annoying card for them to have to deal with. And our Bahamut, probably our only good play left in our hand. Of course this Vania is actually pretty decent of a draw though. Kind of making up for it, especially with this ping. So make another minor misplay or major, depending on how you're looking at it. I should have probably just evolved the other bat on the other side and went for that with the trade instead, or even just going for a earlier trade and Vania would have given me more damage. So really disappointed that I missed that at least minimum 1 damage.
Now this is exciting. You're fine now.
And while it's not the worst situation to be in, it's definitely getting harder anyway. So any damage that I lose really ups the amount of time it's going to take to beat my opponent. Luckily though, we can at least go for the Wicked Fairy Carabus and really ram that thing right into Tenko.
Dream for eternity.
Confirmed, Carabos goes straight into Tenko.
Hey, check this out.
So we can do that, 7 damage into it. That should allow us to be able to ping at least a single point of damage this turn and gain our draw. And pretty much ping 1 damage every single turn, unnegatable. Tenko's Shrine and Jeweled Priestess. I'm actually okay with that. That's not much of a play, and we can basically just drop another Caro. Why not? Go for another Carabus, end our turn, ping a couple of damage again. This time draw 2 more cards, so we're definitely not going to be running out of steam. And double Savage Wolf is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, not so great. Oldie just kind of ruining my life, banishing my great Carabus. But they are now basically board locked. I mean, if I go for double Savage Wolf, that is going to be a pretty decent amount of damage. And now that we have double Razor on top of that, and 2 Carabus pings, we're looking at a very nice lethal. So even without the extra Carabus ping next turn, even if they heal at least 2, we're going to be able to go for lethal. If they do heal more than 2, we're in some trouble. Of course, it is hard when they can't play any followers, so that at least saves us there, and gives us a awesome game. So double Razor to the face for 6 damage, lets us survive quite comfortably with no real issue. Of course, we probably could have went the old Blood King and the gift and maybe tried that way, but wouldn't have been anywhere near as climactic. And the final game for this video, another Havencraft. I mean, I don't know what it was about these matches. I really struggled against some of the other decks quite a bit, mainly just bad draws, not having my aggression on curve, and just drawing badly into the matchups. So that does happen, or just purely running out of steam before you can get anything going. These matchups are against Haven. Haven does give you a reasonable amount of time, of course, as you saw with that last game with Elena. Very big difference when they have even just a little healing. Can be very hard to get them unless they do stuff up like they did with board locking themselves. Of course, this one is going for the Hollow Dogma, which looks to be more of a Stormhaven deck, so at least we're getting some variety in our Haven decks, which is always nice to see. Do go for the Urius because that bird just isn't going to trade into this, and unless they have a Black in Scripture, which they do, really wasn't going to be any kind of worry. Another Pinion Prayer. I'm really stacking these blood cards. I was hoping that I could get a old Blood King, just because that would be absolutely massive with Summon Blood King, Red Talon Strike, and Double Gift. Being able to both remove cards from their board and get massive face damage was going to be my play, but not so lucky so far at getting what I need, and really having to deal with this. Nighthorde is basically my only decent play. It does let me keep my bats, which is good, but nothing else major really happens. Being able to just play these bats out and trade them up, getting more value out of them than before is always good.
You're done for.
So Night Horde does remove this, which is great. Leaving up one dat was definitely beneficial to me. So back-to-back Night Horde really did benefit us. We do get another 3 damage to the face, setting them down to 15. Not really quite enough yet, but if we can have one more good turn, we will be quite happy. So the Beast Call and a Luxwing Reno. Definitely going to be trying to kill that 3-3. We'll give them at least a couple of damage to face. Luxwing is a card you don't see a lot anymore, but when you do see it, it's always a fun card. So we do get a Vania, which actually goes pretty well with the rest of our blood cards here. It's not perfect, but it's still pretty good. I do unfortunately misplay that red Talon Strike. I wasn't aiming for Vania, I was trying to hit the 1-1. Just didn't pay attention to what I was doing and hit the Vania by accident. Very stupid misplay. Could have been easily avoided if I just paid that little bit of extra attention to it. So instead we get to send that 3 damage to the face instead of 4, which is just disappointing, honestly. But we still do have a super good board. As long as nothing is cleared here, we should be pretty comfortable. Star Torrent is good, but not enough to remove everything, especially leaving my Vanias up. And Razor Claw pretty much guaranteeing us the lethal by a massive margin. Just because the Gift of Blood King is a guaranteed 2 damage. Vania itself is 2 damage, so that alone is 6, plus the 3 from the bat that's already evolved. The Wolf is another 2, and Razor Claw is 3. So even without using Razor, we well and truly had lethal then. So really happy with how it ended up. Kind of lucky they just couldn't clear that Vania. So if you guys did enjoy this video, and that will be our roundup of Grand Prix decks. Hopefully I'll be able to do this every time we have a major Grand Prix. We might just have some Grand Prix weeks here and there, or I might just pick maybe 1 or 2 decks, or maybe even combo certain decks into videos where maybe we just have one whole video where I play one game, like one win game with each deck and see how that goes. A whole week does seem a little over the top. I mean, this was the first unlimited Grand Prix, so I don't mind doing this now, and we don't have too many unlimited players out there that really do content like this, so it is nice for someone to be able to cover unlimited content a little bit closer, and that's what I'm aiming to bring you guys. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button and subscribe. You can find the deck list in the description below, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.